Okay, so let's start seated. As always, if it's a little challenging to sit tall, this is a great place to grab a blanket and sit on top of that. Let's start with our right shin crossed in front and just rock a little bit from side to side, lifting one sit bone then the other. And just notice how it feels each time that sit bone touches the earth, and start to get a little smaller here. And then just really feel as though you're pressing evenly. Your sit bones are even spreading a little bit, so you have a nice wide seat. As you root into your sit bones, take a nice deep inhale. See how long you can get through the sides of your waist. And then open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And then maybe close your eyes here if they aren't already. Nice deep inhale, fill up. Exhale, sigh the breath out, ha. And then just start to find the rhythm of your Ujjayi breath. So inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose, just creating that soft rush of air in the back of your throat. Maybe even counting your breath to start out. So inhaling to 5 or 6 or 7, and then exhaling to that same number. So this just allows you to find that equanimity of breath, that evenness. Do a little check-in with your shoulders here. Make sure that they're not creeping up around your ears. You can even just pretend that I am there in your room with you, just gently pressing down. So it almost feels like there's a little weight, a little gravity, helping you to release your shoulder blades towards your tailbone. And you're gonna notice that your attention wanders from time to time. You get distracted by sounds happening around you in the room you're in, if you're outside. We also get really distracted by the thoughts coming in and out of the mind. Those are louder sometimes than anything else. So that's okay. Your attention is going to wander from time to time. But when you become aware of the fact that it has, you just remind yourself to come back to that rhythm, that sound of your breath. Good. Blink your eyes open here. As you inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. So a little wider than shoulders distance apart. You can gently spread your fingers. Feel the inner arm wrap towards the outer arm. So it's like you're getting wider across the backs of your shoulders. This looks good. And then let's interlace our fingers. Just notice which index finger is on top. Press your palms up towards the ceiling. Hold on to that feeling, that action in your upper arms of inner arm wrapping towards outer arms. That widening across the backs of your shoulders. Take a deep inhale here. Keep rooting into those sit bones. As you exhale, it's going to be a tiny little twist to the right. Kind of a little more challenging in this configuration with the arms. So just go more for length as opposed to twist. And then we're going to let go of the hands here. So maybe you get in a little deeper. Your left hand can come to the inside of your left thigh, maybe to the outside of your right thigh. Right fingertips reach behind you. Good. Maybe you start to bring your gaze out over the right shoulder if it feels okay in your neck. Breath smooth and steady. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. And then let's stay in the twist here. So keep pressing that left hand, whether it's in your left thigh or outer right thigh. Stay there like that. Stay in the twist, but inhale, take your right arm up and over. So we find a little side stretch. Notice if your right sit bone gets a little light. Can you anchor there a little more? It's okay if it lifts up a little bit. And then again, just release both shoulder blades down your back. Maybe you start to gaze up underneath that top arm if it feels okay to do so. Good. And then let's start to unwind here. So go ahead and bring your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Exhale, round in. Let the chin fall towards the chest. And then inhale, arch. So this funky little cat-cow action. Exhaling, rounding in. And then inhaling, rocking forward on your sit bones, finding a little arch in your lumbar. Nice work. Couple more rounds. Exhaling, rounding in. Inhaling, extending forward. And then exhale, let's round in here. And you can bring your arms, just uncross them. As you inhale, come back to a nice tall seat. Extend your legs to straight. Give them a little shake out. And then we cross our left shin in front of our right shin. And just notice right away, does this side feel a little different? Maybe do that rock from side to side. Feel the sit bones kind of spread away from each other. So you have this nice base. And then find that place of stillness, hands on thighs, shoulder blades releasing down. Allow your eyes to close again. And just take a moment or two here, tapping into that sound of your breath, that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. And maybe it's starting to feel a little easier already. So we're kind of just dipping into that sweet place. One of the reasons that we love doing yoga. So it's fun to move. It's fun to do all the poses, but it's also nice to slow down, to quiet, and to not worry about things for a little bit. Some days we need to worry about things a little bit, so that's always okay too. All right, so on your next inhale, stretch the arms up overhead again. So a little wider than shoulders distance apart. That's going to help you to activate the arms a little more. Kind of find that stretching across the backs of the shoulders. This is a little wider is nice, especially if the shoulders tend to be a little tighter. And then go for the opposite interlacing. So the opposite index thumb is going to come on top. Press your palms up towards the ceiling. Firm inner arm towards outer arm. These look really nice, ladies. Couple of breaths, especially find length on your inhale here. And then as we exhale, so initially just a couple breaths, twisting to the left. It's not going to be super deep. I find it to be a lot more challenging to twist with the arms in this configuration. Really nice. And then we release down here. So again, right hand might be to the inside of the right thigh, especially if twisting is feeling a little challenging. Otherwise, right hand to the outside of the left thigh, left fingertips behind you. And then you're just pressing your shoulder heads back. So you're finding a little Cobra Pose feeling in the upper body. Maybe you start to bring your gaze out over your left shoulder. Breath is smooth and steady. Really trying to emphasize the inhale. It's always a little congested here in these twists. Filling up as much as you can. And then we find our little lateral stretch here. So we stay in the twists, but as you inhale, you take that left arm up and over. You continue to root down into that left sit bone. And then see if you can let both shoulder blades release down your back. There's a little twist here. Your right ribs are wrapping up towards the ceiling. Looks beautiful, Kathleen. All right, deep inhale. And then as you exhale, go ahead and release your left hand to your right thigh, round in, chin towards chest. You're in the cat stretch. Inhale, arching. We got a lot of cats here today, so you can just check in with them if you're not sure what you're doing. Exhale, round in. Inhale, arch, press the shoulder heads back as much as possible with the arms like this. Couple more, exhaling, round in. Inhale, arch. Beautiful work. Exhale, round in. And then inhale, just come back to a nice seat, uncross your arms, and then go ahead and make your way to your tabletop position. So little classic cat-cow here. Land with your shoulders over your wrists, your knees underneath your hips. Pull your lower belly in and up. Keep your gaze an inch or two in front of your fingertips as you inhale, you arch. And as you exhale, you round in. You might want to close your eyes again here. And then really tune into a pace that feels good for you today. So we can all be moving at a slightly different pace. The important part here is that we start to connect this movement with breath. We start to pay attention to what's going on in our spine. These look really good. Maybe notice the places where it feels a little easier, where it's there's less constriction in your spine. Can you transfer some of that feeling to the places that might be a little tighter? And you might notice that that's different in each of these poses. So most of us, as we come into this cow stretch, it's really easy to get mobility in the lumbar. Can you get a little more in the upper spine? And then conversely, as we come into the cat stretch, we get that rounding in the upper back. Can you pull your belly button towards your spine so you find a little more of that in the lower back? These look really great. Couple more rounds. All right, so let's get into the core a little bit with this. So as you inhale, you're going to come back to neutral spine. You're neither arching nor rounding. It's helpful to keep your gaze an inch or two in front of you. As we inhale, we're going to take our right leg, left arm up. So get nice and long. Keep the hips even. Exhale, release down. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Good. Exhale, release. And then just continue like this. Let's do 3 complete cycles. And again, you're just moving with your breath at your pace. You might even try to close your eyes here. If that feels super unsteady, just keep them open, gaze soft and gentle in front of you. Really nice work. So again, we're doing 3 complete rounds. So you're going to finish up on that left leg, right arm, and then come back to your tabletop position. And then you can make any little adjustments once you get there. Nice work. We're losing layers. I love it. Casey's warming up in the sunshine. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and reach our right toes back. So curl the toes under on the mat. So that leg is essentially in plank pose. Keep the leg that active and then point your left toes back a little more so you're really firming that shin down into the floor. Begin to roll to the inner edge of that right foot and then stretch your right arm up. So just coming into a little modified Vashistasana. You're finding lots of length here through this left side of your waist. And then maybe you start to bring your gaze up towards your right thumb. If that feels okay, you feel those shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. These look beautiful. Your shoulders are really stacking on top of each other here. Sometimes we can lean that top arm back a little bit. So just notice if you're doing that. Deep inhale. As we exhale, we unwind. So you come back to your tabletop position. We take that same pose to the second side. So reach your left leg back, fire up the muscles in that leg. So it's really, really active here. It's in plank pose. And then firm more into your right shin. So it's like you're going to just press it down into the earth. Begin to roll to the inner edge of your left foot. So that left leg is active. Right shin is really active. Lengthening through this right side of your waist, start to extend your left arm up. Breath smooth and steady. This is definitely a little arm balance pose here, even in this modified version. So sometimes we start to hold the breath, keep it moving. And then maybe you're playing with bringing your gaze up to that left thumb. Trying to take up space here. One more deep inhale. These look so nice. As you exhale, you unwind here, and then go ahead and just walk your hands forward a couple of inches. Spread the fingers, press evenly, curl your toes under here, and then feel the lower belly pull in and up. Keep your gaze forward. We're just gonna hover the knees an inch off the earth. So again, a little more core, keep gazing forward. We're gonna hold this for like maybe 20, 30 seconds. So if you need to put your knees down at any point, you're welcome to do so. It's amazing how much this starts to warm up the belly. I'm feeling it in my quadriceps. You might even be feeling it in the glutes and the hamstrings a little bit. Keep breathing, keep smiling. All right, from here, start to lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. And then just take a moment here, fidget around in your downward facing dog so you can pedal back and forth between your feet. Shift hips side to side. I always love to flip onto the top of one foot. Then the other is just this really nice stretch in the toes, in the shin. And then eventually, as you feel ready, you're just coming to a place of stillness. So landing with your feet about hips distance apart. Your ears are lining up with your biceps. So the tendency sometimes is to hold the head in downward facing dog. Just make sure that you're gazing between your feet and the back of your neck is nice and long. Let the breath steady out. Good, and then just a little bend in your knees, gaze forward. We're going to step our right foot forward, then our left foot forward to meet it. As you inhale, hands can come to shins or thighs, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward, so you're making an L shape with your body. Exhale, fold in, maybe with a bend in your knees. This first forward fold always feels really intense, and then press down into your feet. Stretch your arms out and up, take up space. You can also reach arms forward and up if that's better. Sometimes it just feels better in the arms. And then as we exhale, hands come together at your heart. So from here, feet can be together or about hips distance apart. The one thing that you want to do look for is that your second and third toe are pointing forward. So you have that symmetry. And then we're going to start to just move into some half sun salutes here. So as you inhale, reach up into your extended mountain pose. And then as you exhale, you hinge forward, fold in. Inner thighs spiral back, sit bones reach up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come into your half forward fold. It's like a little standing Cobra Pose. Exhale, fold back in. And then root down into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhaling, reaching. Exhaling, folding into your Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen forward into your Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, back into Uttanasana. And then pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So we have 3 more of these. I'm not going to cue you. Just going to move with your breath. So you might close your eyes here. Or you can just follow along with me. You find a pace that feels good for you. Really listen to that sound of your breath. And then use your breath to breathe some space into your body. This just feels like a nice little dance. It's very graceful, very fluid. And these look lovely. I don't know about you, but it's always hard not to like smile a little bit doing half sun salutes. It just feels good. So it's okay to smile in yoga if you feel so moved. These might also feel rough in your body, so you can also frown a little bit too. That's also okay. Nice work. Okay, so we're going to start to build here. So just coming back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose, maybe feeling the arches in your feet lift a little bit. Perhaps you're noticing that your body's feeling a little warmer. All right, so we're going to just build on this as you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. We're going to step our left foot way back. Land on that left knee. Good. Inhale, rise up into your low crescent pose. And then let's bring our right fingertips to our left wrist. Feel the outer hip squeezing a lot as you exhale. Side bend to the right. Let's just hold this for a few breaths. So shoulder blades are releasing down. Maybe you're kind of gazing up underneath that left arm. Definitely a little bit of a balance pose happening here. Inhale up to center. Good. As you exhale, let's plant our palms here. Curl your left toes under. Just step your right foot back to meet your left foot in your downward facing dog. And then from here, let's inhale, shift forward into our plank pose. So shoulders land over your wrists. For this first one, let's all come to our knees. Elbows bend halfway. They're squeezing in. Your shoulder heads are lifting, gazing forward. Nice, Casey. Come onto your belly here. Reach your arms by your side. Stretch back nice and long through all 10 toes. Roll a little bit to the outer edges of your feet, just moving with the breath as you inhale. Head, chest, arms lift. Nice. As you exhale, lower down. Inhaling up. Good. Exhale, lower. This time, let's inhale. Perhaps lift the legs also. Full Shavasana, gorgeous. As you exhale, lower down. One more inhale. Everything lifts. Let's hold here a couple of breaths. Squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other a lot. Hold on to that as you take your arms out wide like airplane wings, palms face down. And then elbows bend, fingertips underneath your shoulder heads. Place your feet down. Here we are in our low Cobra Pose. As we exhale, pass through your tabletop, curl your toes under, downward facing dog. And then let's inhale. So watch what's behind you. You've got some animals running around. Lift your right leg. As you exhale, step that foot through. And you want to make sure you're not on a tightrope. So you might have to walk your right foot off to the right. Inhale, take your arms out wide. Feel the shoulder heads lift. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. You want to make sure that you're not laying your belly down on that front leg. Stretch the arms up overhead here. Good. And then let's inhale, press up into our full crescent pose on that right side. Nice. Maybe press palms, maybe gaze up. Absolutely fine if you have a little bend in that left knee. And then as you exhale, palms plant down, step your left foot to meet your right foot. At the top of the mat, inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Rooting into your feet, stretching arms out and up. Nice work. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So taking that little flow sequence to the second side, inhaling, reaching. As you exhale, hinge, forward fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. So this time, step your right foot way back, land on that right knee. Good, and make sure you're not on a tightrope. Make sure that left knee is over your left ankle. Inhale, rise up. Low crescent pose. And then the outer hips squeeze in a lot, so they're giving you that stability. Left fingertips to right wrist, start to side bend to the left. So feeling all of that stretch through the right side. It should feel really nice. Maybe even gazing up underneath that right arm if it feels okay to do so. Keep directing your tailbone down, even as your sternum reaches up. And then we inhale up to center here. Good. As you exhale, hands plant, curl your right toes under. Step back, downward facing dog. And then from here, let's inhale, shift forward into our plank pose. So you can use your knees again here. We're going to take a few breaths to slowly lower down. So you can do full chaturanga or knees chaturanga. Land in one piece on your belly, tops of the feet pressed. Nice work. Inhale, chest extends forward. As we exhale, pass through your tabletop as you pull back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step that foot through. Make sure you're not on a tightrope, so heel toe that foot off to the left if you need to. Make sure you're not laying down on that front leg. Take your arms out wide. Shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. Feel a little lift of the sternum. And gaze just soft and gentle in front of you. Stretch the arms up by your ears. So getting lots of length. And then really, really strong legs. Next inhale. Carry you up, full crescent pose. Maybe gaze up, perhaps press palms. And then as we exhale, hands come to the mat. We step our right foot to meet our left foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Rooting down into your feet, stretching arms out and up. Good. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So let's just do kind of flow some of that together here. All right, so as we inhale, arms reach. As we exhale, hinge, forward fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Go ahead and exhale, step your left foot way back. Inhale, rise up into your crescent pose. Good, right fingertips, left hip as you exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale up to center. And then this time as you exhale, hands plant. Keep your hips as low as you step your right foot to meet your left foot in your plank pose. Take an inhale here. Good, and again, option to use your knees. As you exhale, you lower halfway. You can hover here this time if you're ready for upward dog, where you come onto your belly. Inhale into your low cobra or your upward dog. Exhale, roll back over your toes, downward facing dog. And then let's inhale, lift that right leg. Exhale, step that foot through. So back in crescent on the right side. So inhale, rise up. And then let's find a little twist here. So as you exhale, take your arms out wide. Nice deep inhale. Feel the outer hip squeeze in. Exhale, twist to the right. Good. As you inhale, come back up to center. Nice work. As you exhale, hands come to the mat. Step your left foot to meet your right foot. Inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold in. Rooting into your feet, stretching your arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So we take that sequence to the left side. Inhaling, arms reach. As you exhale, hinge, forward, fold in. Inhale, chest lengthens forward, gaze comes forward. Exhale, step your right foot way back. Make sure you're not on a tight rope. Good, inhale, rise up, full crescent pose. Good, and then left fingertips to right wrists. As you exhale, side bend to the left, feel those outer hips squeeze in. These look great. Inhale up to center. Exhale, hands come down. Keep your hips as low, your gaze forward as you step to plank pose. Find an inhale here. And then your choice, as you exhale, you find a chaturanga variation that works for you. And we all meet back in our downward facing dog. You're just moving with your breath through that chaturanga vinyasa. Nice work. As you inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot through. Good, inhale, rise up, crescent pose. As you exhale, take your arms out wide. Find a nice deep inhale here. And then keep the outer hip squeezing in. Exhale, twist to the left. Imagine that two somebodies are holding onto your wrists and just gently tractioning you apart. Fire up that right leg. Notice if it's gotten a little lazy. Firm that thigh up towards the ceiling. Good. As we inhale, we come back up to center. As we exhale, hands plant, step your right foot to meet your left foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, chest lengthens forward. Exhale, fold in. Pressing into your feet, stretching arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Just close your eyes here. Let the breath slow down. Check in with your body. Just notice how things are feeling. Good, and then we're gonna blink our eyes open. If you do have a block, you can just grab that right now. If you don't, no big deal. We're gonna take the block between our thighs here, so just above the knees. So just for a little feedback, we're just gonna do a little twist in our chair pose, Utkatasana, so not a terribly long hold. You'll be happy to hear. So standing tall here, and if you don't have a block, you pretend that you have one. You're just standing with your feet hips distance apart. All right, so here we go. As you inhale, knees bend, arms reach up. So keep squeezing that block a lot. Notice how your hip bones are facing the same direction. We're gonna try to hold on to that as we exhale, bring our hands to heart center. And then exhale, just twist to the right. I should be going the other way to mirror you guys. And then if you'd like to hinge forward, take that left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. You're welcome to do that. You might even split your arms here if that feels good. Nice work. Beautiful, Casey. Nice, Kathleen. One more deep inhale. Keep squeezing that block if you've got it as you exhale. Unwind, fold in. Let the back of your neck lengthen and release. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and again, inhale, knees bend, arms reach up, squeeze that block. Feel those hip bones facing forward. Exhale, palms come to heart center. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, it's just happening in the upper body initially, twisting to the left. You could just stay here like this. This might be plenty. Maybe you start to hinge forward, lengthen, and then hook that right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Vigorously keep pressing those palms towards heart center. And if you're in deep and want to split the arms, you're welcome to do that. So all of these little levels, you can always kind of mix things up a little bit here. Nice work. These look great. Try to fill up on that inhale. Yeah, and then as you exhale, again, you unwind, forward fold. Ooh. You can just move the block out from your thighs, just place it to the top of your mat. And then grab opposite elbows. Just sway a little bit from side to side here. Maybe nod your head yes and no. And change the cross of your arms. Good. Fingertips release down to the mat. Little bend in your knees. Slowly start to roll on up to standing. Good. Finding your nice mountain pose, Tadasana. All right. So let's move a little more. So again, if you do have a block, make sure that it's at the top of your mat. You may or may not need it for the next sequence that we're going to do. All right, here we go. So as you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. So this time, bend your knees, plant your palms, right foot way back, then left. Take an inhale here in your plank pose. So body's really active. And you can use your knees here. As you exhale, you lower halfway, hover, or all the way down. Inhale into your low cobra or upward facing dog. Nice, Kathleen. As you exhale, you pull back, downward facing dog. Okay, so let's inhale, lift our right leg up. Hips stay even, toes are pointing down as you exhale. Belly helps step that foot through between your hands. Heel toe that foot to the left twice. Spin into the back edge of that left foot. So your right heel is intersecting the left arch. Inhale, up and over, Virabhadrasana 2. So big hip opener here. This back leg is neutral, it's nice and strong. Wrists are in line with your shoulders. Let's inhale, press into the inner edge of that right leg. Reach the arms up overhead. A couple more times like that. Exhale in. Inhale up. Good. Exhale in. And then flip your right palm to face up towards the ceiling. Inhale, find your reverse warrior. And then stay like this in the upper body. Inhale, press that front leg to straight. Good. Exhale, sink in. Good. Inhale, press that front leg to straight. Exhale, sink in. So we're back in this reverse Virabhadrasana. So feel all of this length on the right side. Can you hold on to that as you exhale? We're just going to bring our right forearm to our right thigh. Take this left arm up and over. So again, a little side stretch, a little twist here as you wrap your right ribs up towards the ceiling. Fire up that back leg a little more. So you feel the muscles really engage there. And then this is where you might want to grab your block. We're going to transition into an extended triangle pose here. So block behind the foot can be really nice. We start to bring that front leg to straight. And then just notice how your upper body is in that Vashistasana, that side plank pose. Nice work. Let's stretch this top arm up and let's get into the shoulder a little bit here. So lean that arm back. It's like you're doing a little backstroke. And then do the thumbs down sign. Good. Start to bend the elbow. You can grab a piece of shirt on the lower right waist, or maybe you can bring your left fingertips to the inside of that right thigh. So you just get a little leverage to press that shoulder head back. Keep pressing to the inner edge of your right foot as you seal into the back edge of your left foot. Your choice here, if you want a little more, maybe you reach those right fingertips forward. That makes the stretch in the groin a little more intense. You're gonna feel it in the sideways, those obliques. All right, so let's go ahead and just release down. So just find classic triangle pose. Shoulder blades stacking on top of each other. This should feel really nice. And then don't overthink this. So on your inhale, you're gonna start to bend that right knee. We're gonna find our reverse warrior again. Nice. As you exhale, you windmill your arms up and over, spin onto those left toes, and then your choice here. If you're feeling hot enough, you just simply pull back to your downward facing dog. Otherwise, if you'd like to build more heat, you take your version of a Chaturanga Vinyasa. These are always optional. You can always sneak in a little child's pose whenever you need to. And as we pull back to our downward facing dog, let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. All right, here we go. As you inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, belly helps step that foot through. You're gonna heel toe that foot to the right twice. Spin into the back edge of your right foot. So we're heel to arch. Deep, deep bend in this left knee. Windmill arms up and over. Virabhadrasana 2. So big hip opening pose. Lots going on. Your torso is facing towards the long edge of your mat. All right, so as we inhale, press to the inner edge of that left foot, arms reach up and over. Exhale, sink back in. So the only thing changing is that your left knee is bending. Inhale, press up. Nice work as you exhale, sink in. Okay, so flip that left palm to face up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reverse to your warrior. Keep your upper body exactly like this. Inhale, press that front leg to straight. Good, exhale in. Inhale, straighten that leg. Good, and then as we exhale this time, we're gonna bend the knee, keep this length, but that left forearm comes to the left leg, right arm reaches up and over. Breath smooth and steady. Wrapping those left ribs up. And then we transition into our tree pose here. So again, block is really nice, I find, behind the foot. So press that left hand down there. And then as you inhale, press to the inner edge of your left foot, start to straighten that leg. Keeping that right arm reaching up and overhead so you feel this long stretch through that right side, even as you're wrapping those left ribs up. Really nice work. Let's inhale, stretch that right arm up. And then it's like you're gonna do a backstroke. When you can't open up anymore, thumbs down sign. Good. And then go ahead and grab what you can. Maybe your fingertips come to the inside of that left thigh. You're just finding a little leverage. So you can really feel this stretch in that right shoulder. The tendency sometimes in triangle pose is to let the head hang. Sometimes we're gripping it, we're holding it. So you really just want it to be an extension of your spine. And again, you're welcome to stay here if you want to up the ante a little more. Maybe you extend forward through that left hand. Maybe you try it on this side and it's like, no, not happening. So you skip it on this side, even if you did it on the other side. All right, we got this. So we're going to release down, stretch up, triangle pose, classic expression. So shoulder blades stacking on top of each other. I love this pose so much because it's so spacious. So enjoy how that feels. Good. And then as we inhale here, we're going to make our way back in to our reverse warrior. Really nice. As you exhale, we're going to windmill arms up and over. And again, your choice. If you want one final little chaturanga vinyasa here, you're welcome to take it. Otherwise, you are finding your downward facing dog. When we get to our downward facing dog, let's all take a nice deep inhale here. And then open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. Okay, go ahead and lower down to your knees. And if you do have your block, you're going to go ahead and use this. We're just going to get into the core here, the full body actually, but especially the core. This won't be pleasant, but it's going to be short. And you can always take breaks when you need to. But let's go ahead and just do Dolphin Plank. So we're going to use our block as a little template. So you're going to hold it between your thumbs. And then you're going to press your forearms down and towards the mat. So you're going to keep your gaze slightly forward. We're going to reach our right toes back, curl them under. And we're going to reach our left toes back. So the hips love to lift up. We want them in line with our shoulders. We want to gaze forward a little bit. The more you use your legs, the easier this is going to be. And like I said, you can always put your knees down when you need to. I find it's really helpful to try to stretch out my breath in this pose. So I'm inhaling to the count of 6 or 7, and then exhaling to that same number. I'm starting to shake a little bit here through the sides of my waist, the legs. So if that's you, it's okay too. And again, you just take breaks when you need to. Really beautiful pose for building strength in the entire body. All right, we got this. So nice and slow, we're going to start to lower our hips down, uncurl your toes, and we find our Sphynx Pose, which is this beautiful release after that forearm plank. So as you're here, again, you're firming down into your forearms, and it almost feels like you're going to drag the mat back towards your feet. That might help you to press those shoulder heads back a little more. These look great. And then let's just stretch into the neck a little bit. So as you exhale, just turn your gaze out over that right shoulder, move in that direction. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Good, inhale to center. And then exhale to the right. Just hold here a few breaths. Keep pressing the shoulder heads back. Feel those shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. Make sure that the legs are active. Outer hips squeeze in, inner thighs roll up. Inhale, center. And then exhale, just gaze out over that left shoulder. And you just go to the point where it feels good in your body. So anytime we're twisting, especially in the neck, shoulder area, some days this can just feel really tight. So never forcing anything. Good, come back to center here. And then you're going to lower down. Make a pillow with your hands here. Just turn your cheek to one side. And then let's bend the knees. And then just start to windshield wiper your legs back and forth a little bit. So deep back bending happening there in our Sphynx Pose. So we just want to release that out in a nice, gentle way. Good, you can turn your cheek to the other side. And then from here, just stay where you're at. You're gonna roll onto your back. You can have a block handy. So just back bending a little different here. So knees are bent, ankles landing underneath your knees, arms by your side. Good. So let's inhale. I want you to notice how there's a little arch in your lumbar, your lower back. So feel that on the inhale. And then as you exhale, start to lose that. So you start to flatten your spine towards the mat and then press into your feet, lift your hips up. Inhale, stay here in this bridge pose, stretch your arms up overhead. And then as we exhale, we lower everything down. So arms and hips. Inhale, notice that natural curve in your lumbar. As you exhale, you start to lose that. So you're directing your tailbone forward, you're pressing into your feet. Inhale, stretching arms up overhead. Exhale, everything lowers down. See if you can get your pinkies and your hips to touch the earth at the same time. That's hard to coordinate. Inhale, feel that arch. Good. Exhale, belly button pulls towards those back ribs. You start to lift your hips up. You lose that arch. Inhale, stretch arms up overhead. Good. This time, keep the hips lifted. As you exhale, release your arms by your side. Couple of options here. You grab the outer edges of your mat. That's especially nice if you're tighter in the shoulders. You snuggle them underneath. Otherwise, maybe you're interlacing your fingers underneath you, kind of doing the same thing, a little shimmy shake in the upper body. And then we take several breaths here. Observe if you're rolling to the outer edges of your feet. It's very common in this pose. So kind of the knees start to splay out. So kind of invigorate the inner edge of your foot. Feel the arches lift. Think mountain pose, Tadasana in your feet. And then the effort that you're pressing down into your feet, find that effort in your shoulders as well. So it's like you have 4 feet pressing into the earth here. And then breath is smooth and steady. This is a gorgeous pose to feel the breadth, the depth of the inhale, how expansive it is. So soak that up. Good. And then let's take one more deep inhale. Exhale, you're going to lower down. We're going to come up again. You're going to grab your block. And if you don't have a block, you can just do another active bridge. You can roll up your mat and slide it underneath you. So we're going to take this block underneath the sacrum. So what tends to happen is we get this block a little high, so you can see my buns are releasing towards the earth. This is not fun. It's very unpleasant. It puts a lot of pressure that doesn't feel good in the lower back. So typically we need to go a little lower. So our sacrum is that triangle, bony triangle at the bottom of our tailbone. And when you find the spot, you'll feel pretty steady on your block. And then you release your arms by your side. Maybe you close your eyes if they're not already. And even though we still want to keep that sensation of pressing evenly into the feet and into the shoulders, there's a little sense of relaxation here in this supported bridge pose. So soak that up as well. This is kind of like our transition point as we move towards our Shavasana. So just let a different feeling start to come into your body and into your mind as we start to wind down here after all of that hard work we've done. You can either stay here for several more breaths. If you're feeling like you would like to come into supported shoulder stand today and you feel really stable on your block, you keep that sacrum there. Bend one knee in, then the other. And then just start to extend your legs up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. You can kind of keep them. You don't have to keep them super active here. So again, just finding length, but also a sense of release and relief. Couple more good breaths. If your legs are extended in the shoulder stand, go ahead and bend knees, place the feet down. And then you're going to press into your feet. Just remove the block out from underneath you. Nice and easy. Give the knees a squeeze into your chest. Might feel nice to rock from side to side. And then from here, if you feel okay in your spine, you're going to roll forward and back a time or two. Roll up to seated. Conversely, you could just roll off to one side or the other. So find our Tadasana. So legs extended out in front of you, pressing into your sit bones. Oh, this nice length through the sides of your waist. And you'll notice it takes a little bit of core to sit tall like this. We're going to take our right thigh to the inside of our left thigh. If you know you're a little tighter here, you might want to grab your strap to place around your left foot. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, stretch our arms up. Find a little twist, wrap those right ribs towards that left leg. And then as you exhale, think lots of length. Think Cobra Pose in your upper body as you hinge forward. Hands just kind of fall wherever they may. More important to be higher up with your hands, keep your spine long as opposed to rounding the spine a lot. And if you're in really deep, you might reach your left wrist past the outer edge of that left foot and then hold onto that wrist with your right hand. That's nice. It just gives you a little leverage to find a little more twist. Maybe counting your breath again at this stage of the game. I always find the thoughts kind of kick up for me here as we come into these longer held cooling poses, these stretches, when we're not flowing anymore. So counting the breath is a helpful tool. Good, we're gonna inhale, come on up here. And then go ahead and just use your right hand to draw your right knee in. So land with knee over ankle, and let's find a little twist here. A couple of options. You can hug the right leg with your left elbow. If you want to get in a little deeper, that left arm extends, and then you hook elbow to the outside. It's kind of like a seated twisting crescent pose here. Shoulder heads are pressing back in whichever variation you're in. Nice, Kathleen. Maybe you're gazing out towards your right shoulder. Breath smooth and steady. One more deep inhale. Exhale and wind, come to center. So find your Tadasana as you extend that right leg to straight. And we take that little sequence to the second side. So sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Maybe using your strap here. Otherwise, inhale, arms reach. Find that twist, left ribs wrap. And then exhale, hinge forward, keeping your spine nice and long. Maybe grabbing your right wrist with your left fingers. If you're long, if you're a little more flexible. So a lot of these sometimes just have to do with how we're built. And you're paying attention. How does this side feel different than the other side? Does it feel different? Noticing these things. This is one of the great gifts of our yoga practice. Just the attention that we start to pay. We got a couple more breaths here. Good. As you inhale, you roll on up. Just use your left hand to help draw that knee in. So land with knee over ankle, and then we find the twist again. So keep that right leg nice and active, the toes point up, either hugging here, or again, you can take your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Shoulder heads press back wherever you're at. And then you just play with your gaze, just move in a place that feels good in your neck. Inhaling for length. And then exhaling, emptying out, twisting in a little deeper. Good, deep inhale. Exhale, unwind, and then this time let's hug our right knee in. And we did it. We made it to our Shavasana. So go ahead and make your way down onto your back. If there's any tenderness in your lower back, you're going to want to grab some blocks or a blanket to slide underneath your knees. You could also just keep your knees bent. Otherwise, coming into classic Shavasana. So just feeling really soft, heavy, relaxed here. So you've done all the hard work. So now really just commit to relaxing, soaking up the benefits of the work that you've done, just giving yourself an opportunity to pause here, to be still before you move into the rest of your day. Shavasana. Take a deeper inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Start to wiggle fingers, toes, stretch out. So just bring some gentle movement, some awareness back to your body. And then you're going to roll to one side or the other. Find the fetal position. Just pause there a moment. And finally, just using your hands to help you press up to comfortable seat. So we've been in this pose at the beginning of class, ending in this Sukhasana, but notice how it feels differently. And notice how you're sitting a little taller, perhaps with a greater sense of strength and ease. Observe how there's more room for the breath to move. It's a little deeper, a little fuller. And then as a result of body and breath working together, just observe how the headspace has shifted. So hopefully you're feeling a little calmer, quieter, more focused, maybe even a little joyful. Soak all of that up. Thank yourself for showing up, for making the effort. And then just promise yourself that you're going to carry this feeling with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week ahead. Bring your palms together at your heart. And bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today.